Good evening, everyone. My name is David Freese. I'm the mayor of Tonganoxie. I'm going to call to order this June 3rd, 2024 City Council meeting for the city of Tonganoxie. Ms. Huntington, will you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mayor. Mr. Partridge?
Here.
Ms. McCutcheon?
Here.
Ms. Stevens?
Here.
Mr. Donnelly is absent. Mr. Dale?
Here.
Thank you. Would you join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item 2 on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the regular meeting dated May 20th, 2024. Is there any conversation about the minutes, or is there a motion to approve?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Can we amend item C under new business to reflect a vote of 5 of all ayes? I think we have the vote wrong on that item on the minutes. And then once that's amended, I'll motion to approve.
Okay. Ms. Huntington, are you taking notes on that? Okay. That's been fixed. Anything else?
Just need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Partridge. Item 3 on the agenda, the consent agenda, where we review the bill payments for the previous period. Are there any questions or conversation about the consent agenda and the review bill payments?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Stevens. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Partridge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
at this point, I'd like to make a motion to move the April 2024 financial report from old business and into the consent agenda as item B.
That's fine with me. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Dan, I guess that's you. That's your cue, right?
Certainly. So I can give a real brief update, and then if you'd like to ask questions or ask for more in-depth update, we can do that, or we can just make a motion and take a vote to approve the amended consent agenda. So whichever way we'd like to go. But the highlight I'd like to add on the financial report is it was included in the packet for reference, and we did include a copy of our ARPA funding financial report that's submitted to the federal government as required as a condition of our award. It does show that we've obligated 100% of our funding, which is required by the end of this fiscal year. We haven't spent it all. We're working on spending it progressively as the design and engineering work continues on the wastewater treatment plant update project, which you'll hear more about later in the agenda tonight. But just wanted to point that out, that the report's there. We'll continue to report on it each April as required until the funds are fully spent. And just wanted to make that note, no other negative reports as part of that financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Are there any questions? Okay. We'll move on to the public hearing. I'm sorry, somebody refreshed me on how to open this back up.
Sure. What we did at the last meeting is we actually advertised for the public hearing, so we opened the public hearing and we just continued it to this date. So I think what you announced that we're ready for the public hearing, maybe just add that it's a continuation from the prior meeting on the item for the easement for the bridge project on 4th Street.
What George said.
And does that cover us?
We'll reopen the public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on this topic? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and move on to item B, ordinance number 1521, consider approval of right-of-way vacation request submitted by Pat Sparks and Cheryl Sparks. Mr. Brockovich.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. So briefly, what this is related to the 4th Street Bridge project. And so the bridge in its new alignment shifts ever so slightly to the south. So in the typical process, what we do is we go request to purchase right-of-way or easement from the property owners. And in this case, the previous property, when the bridge was aligned more to the north, was purchased from the same property owners. And so the property owner actually requested in lieu of an exchange of funds, if they would just give the city the new required southern easement that we need for the bridge, if they could get that northern portion back. And so that's the nature of this agreement. The only caveat is we still need to retain that north piece as construction easement during the new bridge construction. And the owners, we had a great meeting with them last week. Brady Hedstrom, the bridge engineer from BG, was there. Anna participated in that. They had a few they had a few very good questions that just related to how this transaction would take place, and we were able to resolve that. And that item is in the packet this evening. Staff does recommend approval, but we'd be happy to answer any other questions.
Any questions, folks? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 1521, approval of right-of-way vacation request submitted by Pat Sparks and Cheryl Sparks.
Thank you, Ms. McCutcheon. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Ms. Stevens. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. On to new business. Consider approval of 2024 fireworks sales permit applications. Mr. Porter, I have a question before we start this one. Is this state regulated what days that we can sell fireworks, correct?
No, the city code actually sets the limits in the city of Tonganoxie. So unincorporated areas, generally in most counties, do allow discharge of fireworks more freely than in cities. But city code sections reference the exact days before and after the 4th of July that is permitted. I could look up that reference if you'd like, but.
No, but I may have a question later, so go ahead.
Okay, we'll find that information. On this permit request, so the city council annually is required to approve the issuance of fireworks sales permits within the city of Tonganoxie. Our process includes collecting an application and an associated fee as set by ordinance, and then review of the submittal by our city fire department, in particular our fire chief and our fire inspector, fire marshal. So this process includes the consideration of a site plan, discussion with the owner or the operator of the facility, and any recommended adjustments for safety and protection of our citizens and our community as they patronize the sites. We've had as many as 5, I think, stands in the city limits in past years. I've heard that one year there may have even been 6 in the past, but the last several years we've only had 2. This year we continue to have 2 submittals. We reach out every year to people who have submitted in the past and make sure that they are aware of resubmittal requirements. It is required that this be approved in one of the 2 June meetings in order to be eligible to sell fireworks in this season. The 2 submittals you see include one in the Brothers Market parking lot, which is a common location in the past years. The other is a new location. It's actually in the biomedical devices parking area, which, if you're not familiar, is generally across on the north side of 2440 from Ahua Mexican restaurant and the GMP Country Market gas station facility. The fire department has reviewed the applications, doesn't have any concerns or notes to share with the council, so staff do recommend approval without other considerations.
Any questions, council? This is a prolonged July 4th weekend with the 4th on the Thursday, correct?
It is on a Thursday, that's correct.
Is there any, and maybe we could do this later, I don't know, but Is there any appetite at all to extend that by a day? Just because of the possibility of more sales? Because it goes from the 4th to the 5th. It ends at the 5th, correct?
Because it's in city ordinance, Anna, how would that impact adjusting the,
We would have to amend the city code. We could have that ready at the next meeting if desired, but of course, it wouldn't become effective until publication, which we could probably prepare to be done.
It could by the 26th, so we could, if we brought it back next time, we could make that edit. So right now, I just pulled up the reference, firing or discharge of fireworks between 8 a.m. and 11 p.m., June 30th through July 4th, or as authorized by the governing body, is the discharge timeframe. And the sale of fireworks with a valid permit can be from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., the same date range, June 30th through July 4th.
I don't know, council, you think that's a dumb idea?
I know some people with dogs and veterans are sometimes relieved when it's over. I don't have little kids at home anymore, so as the parent of littles, Matt,
I see it both ways. I'm all for letting people shoot fireworks, though. I don't know. I'd be real curious what the appetite would be, because I feel like when you let people start shooting them off 4 or 5 days early, by the time the 4th gets there, you don't see a lot after that. But I don't know. I'm not opposed to it,
I think
though.
with it approaching the weekend, though, it might be different.
What if we think we can get more revenue from the sales tax, then I think I'm in favor of it. Yeah.
Maybe we could talk about that. Jake, did you have something?
I think there's some sense to be made of it. Include the weekend before and, I mean, it's a bad time. A Thursday's a bad day.
Yeah, it's a tough.
oh, you mean the weekend after, yeah, to extend it to the 5th, through the 5th, is that what you're saying? Well, I won't be here at the next meeting, so.
So you're talking extended after.
Yeah,
Include the 5th.
include the 5th.
What about the 6th?
What about bumping it forward, including the weekend before?
No, I didn't think about that.
No, people will start doing them before, even if it's.
Well, no, I know that,
You know,
but giving the
people will be
weekend,
glad, yeah.
giving the weekend before for purchase and,
Well,
'Cause
the
there's-
folks working these booths probably are struggling to find people to work them already.
I do agree that we don't have a single Friday or Saturday included in this.
right.
And I do agree that probably will stunt sales to some degree. So providing an opportunity for some kind of Friday or Saturday discharge probably makes some sense. Me personally, I always think if it's June, it's not July 4th. So I would almost say like this year only, 1st through 6th, but anyway.
We'll talk it over and see what we bring forward next meeting or something like that.
So one other thing I might offer is I tried to search the state law to see if there is any overarching, just in a quick web search. And there's actually an interesting website called kansaspyro.com. And it has laws across the state of Kansas. It quoted ours correctly. So it has every county and city that they collected information from. One thing to point out is I don't see any that allow later than July 5th in the regular schedule of sales or discharge. And obviously, a lot of communities are more restrictive. There is a couple counties that have Flag Day, Memorial Day, and a few other holidays that they exempt the
Super
restriction.
Bowl day, maybe?
Yeah, Chiefs Super Bowl. Just want to point that out. But yeah, if you'd like staff to prepare a consideration for next meeting, we can obviously do that for amending the city code.
Okay. Okay, otherwise, any more questions on that topic? If not, I'd accept a motion.
I will make a motion that we approve the 2024 fireworks sales permits for Anthony Miller and Garrett's Worldwide Enterprises LLC.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Stevens. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Item B, update on the wastewater treatment plant expansion, presented by Daniel Monaco. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. Wanted to give you an update on the progress and a couple particular items to bring to your attention and talking about schedule moving forward. We have received some preliminary information requests back from KDHE regarding the application and permit components. They're requesting what's called an anti-degradation report. We are working through that process with them as we go through, trying to make that a parallel process, hopefully not delaying anything in regards to this. The next thing is we are proposing to bring forward to the council at your first July meeting the first bids, evaluated bids for particular equipment for the digester systems, the HVAC of the headworks. At a minimum, those two things that we'll have there. The process that we're utilizing is an evaluated bid. We'll factor in cost, lead times, differing things with that. I do believe the city has utilized this procurement method in the past. We'll have a pre-purchase agreement that the vendors will be aware of. You will sign the contract with them. In regards to timing after award, and the potential impact of this could be up to about $1 million in total. I think it'll be less than that, but we'll just plan on that for now. In process, though, the schedule of payments that would likely occur is approximately 6 to 8 weeks after that award. You will have a first payment due, if you will, of about 20 to 30% at that time. The plan after that would be more than likely that purchase agreement will be transferred to the contractors that will be bidding the rest of the project. And so the likelihood is you won't be making any other direct payments to those manufacturers. The general contractor that's awarded will take over that process at that time. So I think in regards to that, looking at the financial side, trying to get some more clarity, that we have received information or contact back from KDHE is a good sign. We know now that they are in process of that. I was hoping to get a more direct update on timing of when we might expect that SRF agreement. But as soon as I can get that info, I'll give that to George and Dan, and maybe it'll coincide with the July 1st meeting as well. So with that, are there any other questions or comments?
Any questions, anyone? I don't see any.
We're just eager to get it done.
Mayor, one thing I might add here is I appreciate Daniel suggesting to take this approach. There's just some lead times with the purchase and fabrication of these particular large pieces of equipment that are associated with it. However, if we, and we're fortunate enough that through fund balance and some availability, we could cash finance this and to satisfy cash basis law, we're going to have to allocate some funds towards that. So we're kind of really in this odd 30 to 45 day window, not knowing if our loan's going to be approved. If we pay for this out of other funds, we can still reimburse ourselves through the loan when the loan funds come in play. But we'll have to take some action to say, this is the budget authority that we're giving to make this purchase. Now, the leeway we have is we don't have to have those funds identified until we're ready to award whoever the successful bidder is on this equipment. But that's something that staff will work on and identify what funds to target. And again, it's going to be one of those exercises where hopefully best case scenario, we're only using those funds in a 30 to 60-day window, again, for these equipment purchases to essentially keep the project on this new schedule that it's on. Dan, if I misstated anything or you want to clarify from a budget standpoint, please feel free to do so. But like I said, I think it's a good idea by Daniel to, again, the lead times with this stuff, if we can get, 30 to 45 days out in front on the equipment, I don't think there's a lot of risk to us at that point.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you. Moving on to city manager agenda, Mr. Brajkovic.
No items listed, but I will just state for the record, we did release the annual citizen satisfaction survey. We've done this the past, I believe, 6 years now. It's a part of our budget preparation process. It's about a 5-minute survey, and we hope that folks will take the time and engage. It's essentially their satisfaction level with services that are provided by the city. There's one new question this year where we ask folks to rank 1 being the highest, 5 being the lowest, 5 different budget initiatives. They include things like roads, public safety, water, sewer, stormwater infrastructure, parks, trails, and amenities, and then lowering the city mill rate. And so we sent that email out like we do every year to the registered emails that are part of our utility accounts for the city, the water or sanitary sewer. This year it was a little over 2,200. And I think as of this evening, we're at about 138 folks that have responded. And SurveyMonkey gives you good analysis of, this many people didn't open the email, this many opened it but didn't complete. And so we have, like we've done in the past, at regular intervals, send a reminder email to the folks that never even opened the email. But, it's a cold call kind of survey thing. So, usually somewhere between 10 to 12% participation is what we anticipate seeing. So, okay.
All right, thank you. City attorney agenda, Ms. Krishalich? No items. All right. Mayor Pro Tem agenda?
No items tonight.
City council agenda? Anyone? Mayor agenda, just remind everyone that the library run is this weekend at 8 o'clock, so watch out for runners on the road between 8 and 10, I reckon. That's all. Jake, what do you have for us?
I'll move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Ms. McCutcheon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? See you in a couple weeks. Thanks.